Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the GO Podcast. Your host, Country Boy, here with another fantasy football edition of the podcast. Welcome to week 5. But before we do that, a little week 4 recap. So, last week I went 0-3. This week I went 2-1. So, that's good. Overall, this year I'm 6-6 across my 3 teams. And 4 weeks in, this is a good place you want to be. 2-2, not losing, not winning. You're starting to get understanding players, trends, what defense to play against, what defense not to play against, what quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends. So you're starting to see trends now. So it's a good place to be at. You just want to be there in the end. So a lot of people came through for me. Mike Williams came through for me, Jared Goff, Jamal Williams, Rashad Penny, Damian Pierce. Great starts for me this week. Some of my duds was Kamara being a late scratch for the game. That really hurt me. And me, I'm thinking, add Mark Ingram, he'll do something for you. He didn't do anything for me, so that was a bad start for me. A.J. Dillon didn't do anything. And once again, Kyle Pitts. I think I'm now ready to trade Kyle Pitts. I don't trust the offense. I don't like what they do, running 14 straight plays. That's not good for fantasy value, so. Next week, I hope to tell you that Kyle Pitts is no longer on my team. But hey, here's to week 5, fantasy football preview. Let's get on the podcast. So for this week, starting off with Sunday, we got the Giants at the Packers. For the Giants, Saquon is still doing his thing. He's a must start. Daniel Jones may or may not play. This is also a London game, early game, so make sure you set your lineup Saturday night before you go to sleep, for you don't have the Alvin Kamara situation happen again. But for the Giants, the only person you can play is Saquon. For the Packers, I will start Aaron Rodgers. Romeo Doubs has been trending up in the right way. He's starting to build a chemistry with Rodgers. And Alan Lazard, he's building chemistry with Rodgers too. You can start both of them with confidence. And then the running backs, of course. Aaron Jones seems to be separating from A.J. Dillon. So, of course, Dillon, but if you have somebody better than A.J. Dillon in the flex, I would start them. Then we have the Steelers at the Bills. For the Steelers, maybe Deontay Johnson as a flex. I'm not going to start. It's going to be Kenny Pickett's first start as a rookie against the best defense in the league. I'm not going to start Najee Harris. They can't run. That line can't push anybody. I'm not starting anybody else from the offense. For the Bills, you can start Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. Hopefully, you'll have a bounce back week with Isaiah McKenzie and Jamison Crowder likely not to play. Gabe Davis, hopefully, this will be his week to go off. Then we have the Chargers at the Browns. For the Chargers, if Keenan Allen plays, of course, you got to start him. But if not, continue to play Mike Williams. He's been having an up and down year so far. Odd weeks, he doesn't show up. Even weeks, he does. This will be an odd week. So if you have another wide receiver, you can start him over Mike Williams. And you can start Gerald Everett. Of course, he's been balling ever since Allen's went down. For the Browns, Chubb is still doing his thing, starting him with confidence. Hunt is a flex. And Njoku is still doing his thing with the targets. Amari Cooper should have a bounce back game this game too. You can start all of them. Then we have the Bears at the Vikings. I thought Khalil Herbert was going to do a little bit more for me last week. Hopefully this week against the Vikings defense, he can show a little bit more for you. He's the only person from the offense I would start. And then for the Vikings, of course, you got to start Kirk Cousins, Jefferson, and Thielen, and Dalvin Cook, of course. But Dalvin Cook always seems to struggle against the Bears, so we'll see if we can turn that around this week. Then we have Detroit at New England. The rule with Detroit, whoever playing against Detroit, start their whole offense. Unfortunately, New England, Mac Jones will be down this week. So, and I think Jacoby Myers may or may not play. If he plays, you can start him. If not, Devontae Parker would be a good start for you. And of course, I think Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson can give you top 10 running back games this week. So start them with confidence. I believe Detroit is averaging 35 points a game and also allowing 35 points a game. So their games are always high scoring, no defensive play. Jared Goff, still start him no matter who his weapons are. Hopefully Amara St. Brown comes back. But if not, start Josh Reynolds. He did his thing last week. And also TJ Hawkinson, if the receivers are out again. I believe DJ Swift will still be out this week, so you can start Jamal Williams with confidence. Then we have the Seahawks at the Saints for Seattle. Geno Smith is still balling, still doing his thing. So if you have quarterbacks like maybe you had for whatever reason you had a Trubisky, or maybe you had like a Matthew Stafford, or maybe you had Daniel Jones for whatever reason. Any other quarterbacks you kind of on the fence with, Geno Smith is a good flex option if you can go with this week. Rashad Penny had a monster game. If you weren't able to trade him, because I will try to trade him away as soon as I can. But if you weren't able to trade him, I would say he has flex potential this week. The Saints have a pretty good defense. Hopefully Kamara will be back this week. He should have a good week. And not sure if Jameis or Michael Thomas will play. If they do, I will only play Michael Thomas. Not really trusting Jameis Winston. But you can definitely start Kamara or Ingram, whoever the starting running back is, and Olave. Olave has been the #1 receiver these past few weeks. Then we have the Dolphins at the Jets. Teddy, we already know Teddy Bridgewater will be starting. So that drops down the receivers, Tyreek and Waddle, just a little bit, but you still have to start them with confidence. I would not start a running back. Most of it is the starter, but he gets the early down rolls, no touchdowns, so he has no fantasy value for me. And for the Jets, Breece Hall, he's finally taking over the starting role, starting to do his thing. And with Zach Wilson, Corey Davis seems to be a thing, so he has flex potential. I will not start Garrett Wilson or Elijah Moore. Then we have the Falcons at the Bucks. For the Falcons, I am not going to start anyone. Kyle Pitts has a hamstring issue this week. Not sure if he will play. Even if he does play, I don't want to start anybody against the Bucks defense. They lost last week. I feel like they're gonna try to embarrass the Falcons. So I don't have faith in starting any Falcons. For the Bucks, start the whole offense with confidence. Brady, Evans, Godwin, and Fournette. They can all have big games this week. Then we have the Titans at the Commanders. For Tennessee, Derrick Henry is back on the roll. Seems like he's back to his how he was last season, so he's starting with confidence. That's it from the Tennessee offense. For the Commanders, maybe Wentz will have a bounce back game. He's shown against good defenses that he has no fantasy potential at all, but against Tennessee, he should be able to have some passing TDs. Hopefully McLaurin will bounce back now that Jake Dotson will be out for at least 2 weeks. And if Brian Robinson plays, I will give it a week or two just to see him acclimate back to the game. So only Wentz and McLaurin I will play for the Commanders. Then we have the Texans at the Jaguars. I said last week the Jaguars are the surprise team of the year so far. The defense is legit. So for Houston, I will still start Cooks and Pierce. That will be it for the offense. And for the Jags, I believe Trevor Lawrence has great season-long potential. And Etienne and Robinson, you can start both of them with confidence. And Christian Kirk. For the 49ers at the Panthers, also I forgot to mention Debo. He came through for me last week. I was down by 20 points. I needed him to get me 20 points for the Monday night game. And he came through and got me, I believe it was 28. So shout out to you, Debo. Appreciate that. But for him, you got to start Debo again. And Jeff Wilson has some flex potential. If you have no other running backs that you really trust, I would say Jeff Wilson. And for the Panthers, only McCaffrey. That's the only person you can start. This probably will be the last game that Baker Mayfield starts if he continues to play how he's been playing. And we may see Sam Darnold again, which is a very, very horrible situation. Then we have the Cowboys at the Rams. For the Cowboys, you can play Zeke and Pollard with confidence, and CeeDee Lamb. Especially Cooper Rush will probably play. I don't think Dak is ready to come back yet. So you can start the running backs and CeeDee Lamb with confidence. For the Rams, only Cooper Kupp. The running backs, they can't run the ball at all. Matthew Stafford only targets Cooper Kupp. Allen Robinson, you can now drop him from your team. He has no fantasy potential. And Higbee. You can play Tyler Higbee. He's the second receiver in Los Angeles now. so he'll be in cut for the Rams. Then we have the Eagles at the Cardinals. For the Eagles, we start the offense with confidence. Miles Sanders has been doing his thing this year. Jalen Hurts continues to be the top QB. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard, you play all them with confidence. For the Cardinals, you have to play Murray. I don't know. Hopefully they turn it around when Hopkins gets back. But you have to start Murray with confidence. James Conner has been struggling so far this year. Hopefully he'll turn it around, but the Eagles' defense is legit, so I'm nervous to start any Cardinals this week. Then we have the Bengals at the Ravens. For the Bengals, the whole offense, Baltimore's defense has been getting demolished this year, especially on deep balls. So I will start Chase and Higgins with extreme confidence. Hopefully Mixon will get more involved in the passing game. They've not been able to run the ball, and Burrow should have a good game. For Baltimore, of course, Lamar, got to start him. J.K. Dobbins came back last week, looks good running the ball. You can start him with confidence. And if Rashad Bateman is down, you can start Devin Duvernay. And of course, you have to play Mark Andrews. And then for the Monday night game, last game of the week, we have the Raiders at the Chiefs. For the Raiders, Josh Jacobs has been doing this thing. And of course, you have to start Devontae Adams. And I would not. Against the Chiefs, I guess you can start Derek Carr if you have no other options. The Chiefs allow good fantasy potential to quarterbacks, like even Matt Ryan did good against the Chiefs. So you can start Derek Carr against the Chiefs defense. And for the Chiefs, you're going to start their offense. CEH still continuing to ball out. I don't know if that will continue, but for now, he's a start. Still have to play Mahomes and Kelsey. I don't trust the receivers yet. Juju, MVS, Sky Moore, nobody has established himself as a number one receiver yet. So until that happens, all of them just have flex potential to me. So that's the rundown for week 5. Good luck with all your teams this week. Like every week, I will post start set questions to my Instagram at GeoPodcast. I'm your host, Country Boy. Good luck this weekend. Have a good one.